Gamescom 2021 is here, and Opening Night Live, ONL, brought with it a number of world premieres. The premieres spanned a range of genres from shooters to strategy games, and included both AAA and indie games. Many of the world premieres gave fans a new look at previously announced titles, while others were fresh reveals that had not been announced before Gamescom. The event officially kicked off yesterday with a Microsoft showcase, which is one of the worst I have ever seen. No new game reveals, no Hellblade 2, Avowed, Fable or Perfect Dark. A very bad presentation, and also lots more talking. So, we are jump ahead directly to the main show hosted by Jeff Keighley. Gamescom ONL had a pre-show with 7 world premieres of its own before the main show, delivered a deluge of new trailers and reveals. Here is some of the important world premieres at Gamescom ONL 2021 that we are gonna discuss about, and I am gonna share some updates here that came after the show. A few months ago, Horizon Forbidden West was being positioned as the must-have PlayStation exclusive game for holiday 2021. Rumors started spreading that Horizon Forbidden West wouldn't quite meet its planned 2021 release date, and now Guerrilla Games has confirmed those reports. Horizon Forbidden West's PS4 and PS5 release has officially been pushed back to early 2022, though it now has a specific release date. The Horizon Forbidden West release date is February 18, 2022, as confirmed at Gamescom Opening Night Live. The developers explained that the delay is to ensure that they can polish the game to their standards, but they have assured fans that the title is officially in its final phase of development. No substantial new gameplay footage was shown at Gamescom, but it was reiterated that the game will feature revamped melee combat, new climbing mechanics, and more. The Horizon Forbidden West release date delay is undoubtedly going to disappoint some fans, but others may prefer a delay if it means that the final product lives up to expectations. Horizon Zero Dawn set an incredibly high bar, and it makes sense that the developers want to do everything possible to ensure that the sequel lives up to that legacy. Speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, we as fans of the original want to consider revisiting it while we wait for Forbidden West. At Gamescom, Guerrilla Games confirmed that Horizon Zero Dawn has gotten a PS5 update, so we can enjoy 60 frames per second performance when playing the game on Sony's next-generation console. This isn't quite the same as a proper PlayStation 5 port for Horizon Zero Dawn, but it should still make playing the game on PS5 a more worthwhile experience. There are a few gaming events planned for the later in the year, like the upcoming PlayStation event and the Game Awards, and so it's possible we will get another glimpse at Horizon Forbidden West prior to its launch in February. The first month of 2022 will offer a lot of great games at Horizon Forbidden West side. For example, From Software fans have been dying to get their hands on Elden Ring for years. Thankfully, Elden Ring came out of hiding in 2021, and now we know that we'll get to play the RPG in January 2022. Nintendo has a major game on the way for January 2022 as well. That game is Pokémon Legends Arceus, a totally new take on the Pokémon series that promises some impressive levels of open-world exploration and free-form Pokémon interaction. Horizon Forbidden West won't release until February 2022, but there's plenty of other influential games set to release in that month too. For example, Gamescom 2021 also featured a major announcement from Volition and Deep Silver, a Saints Row reboot. Volition clearly has a brand new vision for the Saints Row franchise, which hasn't had a new game in quite a few years, so it's great that fans will get to experience Volition's vision in only a few months. February 2022 also features Sifu, an indie martial arts game that Sony seems to have a lot of admiration for, based on its regular touting of the game. Horizon Forbidden West is only the latest game to join an increasingly strong early 2022. The Horizon Forbidden West delay's confirmation is an inconvenience, but there's plenty of good things about it. Naturally, Horizon Forbidden West will be a stronger, better game because of the extra development time that Guerrilla Games has, but it's also good just to have a solid release date for the game, even if it's later than fans hoped. On top of that, Horizon Forbidden West is likely to help set the tone for 2022's games. If the sequel is really solid, it'll inspire optimism in fans and developers everywhere. In spite of all the obstacles that studios big and small have faced, there's still hope for games like Horizon Forbidden West to shape the game industry for the better. At the same Gamescom event we had an update on another PS5 game, with Death Stranding Director's Cut launching next month. A new trailer at Gamescom shows off the various improvements being made to the game. Given how diverse the original release of Death Stranding was among its players, many have been eager to see what the upcoming Death Stranding Director's Cut will bring to update Hideo Kojima's post-apocalyptic game. On that front, Death Stranding Director's Cut's appearance at Gamescom Opening Night Live delivered, providing a more detailed look at the enhanced version's new bells and whistles. Closing off the announcement-heavy event was a new preview trailer from Kojima Productions that lists off all of the new features the game will deliver when it comes to the PS5 next month. These will be among the various updates that the trailer hypes, promising that the PS5 version will be the definitive Death Stranding experience. The trailer kicks off with fresh footage detailing the quality of life improvements that have been teased for the director's cut. Among the new tools players will have at their disposal are a cannon-like cargo catapult that can launch cargo over long distances, evolved stabilizers that let players leap safely from great heights, and jump ramps that they can use to cross large gaps while in vehicles. The buddy bot from the original game will also be enhanced and allow players to ride it, set a destination for it, and have it automatically carry them and their packages there. Players will also have new action-packed delivery missions to take on, as the trailer shows off new footage of an underground facility that Sam Porter Bridges descends into, teasing more stealth-oriented action that should please fans of Hideo Kojima's work in the Metal Gear Solid series, and also it teases the return of Metal Gear Solid. Outside of delivery-based gameplay, a new training room will allow players to take on simulated missions that appear to be more combat-focused. Players will be able to tackle these challenges and go for high scores, in addition to unlocking new weapons and getting more use out of the director's cut's enhanced combat mechanics. Rounding things off, the re-release will boast a new activity in the form of a Death Stranding racing mode where players will be able to take on time attack challenges in various vehicles, in addition to the option to replay boss battles. More extras will include new songs for Sam to listen to in his room and the ability to perform tricks while jumping from ramps. When Death Stranding first hit the PS4 in 2019, many of its unique design choices rubbed people the wrong way. A lot of players weren't fans of delivering packages over rocky terrain all the time, leaving them to dismiss Death Stranding and call it boring, but only a few could understand the game and get involved in it. This game is a great creation by Hideo Kojima, and it is a very underrated game. While it does look like the director's cut will radically change how it plays, the new delivery tools, combat improvements, and other additions look like they could go a different way to making the experience smoother, less tedious, and more engaging overall. If you guys didn't buy the game at that time, I highly recommend you to buy the original game, and the director's cut version too. It is one of the rare games where patience and understanding is key. Up next, Volition officially announces the Saints Row reboot at Gamescom Opening Night Live, revealing its release date, gameplay, and more. Jeff Keighley kicked off Gamescom Opening Night Live in style by announcing the previously teased Saints Row reboot. Keighley was on hand with actor Bryce Charles to showcase a cinematic reveal trailer for the Saints Row reboot, explaining the basic premise of the game, while also showing some brief snippets of gameplay. The Saints Row reboot looks like it will retain the over-the-top open-world action of previous games in the series, though it seems to be pulling things back a bit when compared to Saints Row 4 and Gat Out of Hell. Based on what was shown, it looks as though the new Saints Row game will have more in common with Saints Row 3 than anything else, still embracing its silliness while being more grounded than the most recent entries in the series. The Saints Row reboot will be making some major changes to the franchise. Saints Row developer Volition is taking a fresh approach to Saints Row, introducing new characters and a new city. Set in the American Southwest, the Saints Row reboot sees players take on the role of the boss, who forms the Saints gang with their friends Eli, Kevin, and Nina. Together they take on the new city of Santo Eliso, which is currently controlled by three major gangs: Los Panteros, the Idols, and Marshall. Players will be able to team up with friends and drop in or drop out co-op to make taking over Santo Eliso a little easier. Whereas the newer Saints Row games had players take on the role of the President of the United States and had players use superpowers, the Saints Row reboot story sounds like it's going to have more in common with the first game. It's once again going to be about a gang of criminals trying to rise to the top of the criminal underworld. It was implied in the trailer that players would be taking on the role of a pre-made boss portrayed by Bryce Charles, but that doesn't actually seem to be the case. The game will reportedly allow for unprecedented customization, though there may need to be some more clarification on this matter. While the Saints Row reboot trailer included several memorable characters, the big question on some gamers' minds after the trailer finished was if they could make their own character in this reboot. Shortly after the reboot trailer played on Gamescom 2021 opening night live, developers at Volition confirmed on Twitter that character creation will be included in the Saints Row reboot. Saints Row games typically feature a character creation tool, and the inclusion of the feature in the reboot has fans of the series hyped. The announcement trailer never focused on character customization, as Volition opted to show off some story beats from the game. Players will take on the role of their customized character known as the boss to become a hero or villain through interacting with characters like the ones showed off during the Gamescom opening night live trailer. Many Saints Row fans may be looking to recreate their original character in the reboot, but developers at Volition haven't officially confirmed how detailed the character creation tool will be. While many fans exclaimed their excitement for the Saints Row reboot after seeing the Gamescom 2021 trailer, others responded with praises for Saints Row 2. One Saints Row critic quickly pointed out that the reboot shares some visual similarities with Fortnite, while the original game was more gritty. Someone quickly responded to this critic with an explanation that there are two Suicide Squad movies that look very different from each other, but still follow a similar story. Reboots may not include the same characters, but fans of the original Saints Row may find something to appreciate about the upcoming reboot from Volition. Between the glowing cat-eared motorcycle helmet and cars that can apparently leap up skyscrapers, the trailer does not make it seem like the new Saints Row will be positioned as a next-gen GTA killer. But taking a step away from lunacy in favor of crime comedy with shades of social commentary is definitely a step toward GTA's territory. Both games will occupy mechanically and thematically similar spaces, and players will inevitably compare them. But this matchup might go better for Saints Row than one would expect based on GTA's legendary clout. While Rockstar has steadily injected fresh content into Grand Theft Auto Online, it must be acknowledged that the game is starting to show its age in certain respects. If nothing else, experienced players have seen the scope of what it has to offer, and many of those players are likely hungry for something fresh. Alongside the enduring success of GTA Online, Grand Theft Auto 6 is likely an extremely long way off. Unlike the late 2000s through the early 2010s, there are far fewer series operating in that same space today. Saints Row could offer a welcome change-up to those hungry for something new, but that assumes everything goes according to plan. Competing with one of the most critically acclaimed titles of the last decade is not a half-hearted endeavor. If Deep Silver Volition is too conservative with its mechanics and story, it will have an extremely difficult time differentiating itself from GTA 5 and GTA Online. Even if Saints Row's offerings are excellent, it will be a hard sell to convince invested players to switch games if the two titles feel too similar. There is a reason there are fewer GTA-like games now than there were a decade ago. Between True Crime, Sleeping Dogs, Saints Row, and a host of lesser-known titles, the market reached saturation. Players knew, or assumed they knew, what to expect, and that may still be true. It is also possible, however, that gamers who grew up on these games might just be hungry for a modern take on the concept. If Saints Row similarly wants to grow up, shedding some of its crasser qualities in the process, that's an admirable endeavor. But juvenile charm is still charm, and it must be replaced by something equally compelling. GTA with better graphics or GTA but funny won't cut it because GTA is already funny. Next-gen console ports of GTA are fast approaching, and the game already looks great on PC. What Saints Row needs to maintain, regardless of what it changes into, is flavor. Grand Theft Auto is not drab, conservative, or humorless, but it is an established brand. As a result, it is harder for Rockstar to take the sort of radical and transgressive risks that Deep Silver Volition can take with the new Saints Row. Fortunately, that distinctive character can be achieved in a number of ways. Hopefully the game will not abandon its penchant for surreal, stunt-like minigames, and the developers will have an arsenal full of fan-favorite weapons seasoned with a few oddballs. The weapons don't need to be as cartoony as the third's mollusk launcher, but they do need to feel distinctively Saints Row. It must be said, the new Saints Row appears to be brimming with personality, which was ultimately what allowed the third to step outside GTA's shadow. Sometimes, personality is all it takes to make a familiar experience feel fresh again. There definitely seems to be a mixed reaction to the Saints Row reboot announcement so far, but the bright side is that we don't have to wait all that long to find out for ourselves if the game lives up to the legacy of its predecessors. As announced at Gamescom, the Saints Row reboot will launch on February 25, 2022, so there should be plenty more revealed about it in the coming months. Moving forward, Marvel Midnight Suns was one of the bigger surprises of the show. When video game players think Marvel, they might think Marvel's Avengers, Marvel's Spider-Man, or even the upcoming Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel's Midnight Suns is something entirely different, however. Perhaps the most exciting confirmation is it's made by Firaxis Games, the developer of XCOM. Being a Firaxis game, it should come as no surprise that Marvel's Midnight Suns is a strategy game. Think XCOM but with Marvel characters. While gameplay for Marvel's Midnight Suns has yet to be revealed, expect to see a similar style of turn-based tactical combat where every single action could make the difference between success and survival. As for when Marvel fans can expect to see gameplay for themselves, Firaxis says to look forward to a reveal in September. There is one other major aspect of Marvel's Midnight Suns that makes it different than what fans might be expecting, however. These aren't necessarily the Marvel characters that fans would be expecting. Marvel's Midnight Suns revolves around a darker setting and plot than the more whimsical and adventure Marvel comic book or movie fans might expect. Instead, it's a world of supernatural enemies including vampires and Lovecraftian horrors. As would fit the darker, more frightening story and setting, Marvel's superheroes have an exciting new look to them. They're all geared out in a similar style of Midnight Suns armor that will assumedly help protect from supernatural forces. The heroes shown in the trailer include Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Iron Man, Magic, Blade, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Nico Minoru. It isn't clear whether these are the only Marvel characters included in the game, or if there will be more that weren't shown in the trailer. One other exciting detail that was confirmed is that players will be able to make their own Marvel superhero that's central to the story of Marvel's Midnight Suns. Players will be able to customize this character fully, while still allowing Firaxis to tell a unique story without making any other Marvel character the focus. One of the biggest pillars of the XCOM experience is that when characters die, they're gone for good. This adds a lot of tension to missions and can lead to emotional moments, but it also means a player's units are little more than a name with associated abilities. This is an aspect of the series that Marvel's Midnight Suns can easily improve thanks to its cast being made of familiar heroes. Even if the game still has a permadeath feature included, it will be able to give each character more personality to engage with during and outside of combat because of its predefined characters, which is one of the biggest features of games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Having predefined characters could also help Marvel's Midnight Suns have a more central narrative than other XCOM games. This could allow the game to feature great cutscenes with fan-favorite heroes interacting to bring some levity between missions. The superhero genre will also allow the game to feature a more personable villain. Marvel has some fantastic villains that could appear in Marvel's Midnight Suns, and having a particular villain to fight in Marvel's Midnight Suns will help the game's story improve. The XCOM series gives players an incredible amount of customization when it comes to fine-tuning soldiers and their loadouts. However, Marvel's Midnight Suns can improve on these systems further thanks to its cast of Marvel superheroes. It would be great for players to be able to unlock different skins inspired by some of their most popular comic book runs. Skins have been a big part of Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Avengers, and they would be a great addition to Marvel's Midnight Suns as well. The skins could even impact how the characters play or what abilities they have access to, which would be a fantastic way for players to customize their playstyle and squads. Being able to customize individual heroes' abilities and skills would also be a great way for Midnight Suns to improve on XCOM. XCOM games feature a number of classes for players to build their squads with, each having their own focus, gear, and abilities to take advantage of. With how diverse Marvel's Midnight Suns cast appears to be, there will likely be a lot more options for players to choose from, which will only be helped if players can customize each hero to their liking. The customizability would bring a lot more diversity to the game, while also making it a great title for fans of XCOM. With Marvel's massive catalog of characters, factions, and units at its disposal, Marvel's Midnight Suns could introduce an incredible amount of variety in its missions and story mode. This will help keep missions fresh, while also pushing players to adopt different playstyles in response to the enemies they have to fight. This would also help push players to use all of the characters in the game, especially on harder difficulties. This would especially stand out if Marvel's Midnight Suns takes advantage of some great comic storylines. The large stable of characters should also help the game have more variety in the playstyles. Being able to play with a team of slower, more powerful heroes like Hulk would offer a very different experience to a team comprised of faster heroes like Blade. This will help more fans enjoy the game because they can play it how they want to, and could also add replayability through experimentation. It may even include Marvel's lesser-known heroes like Moon Knight, who have not been seen in video games as much as other mainstays. It will be interesting to see what form Marvel's Midnight Suns takes when fully released. There are still more questions that fans have about the game, and luckily for them Firaxis is planning to host a gameplay reveal next week. The game has a strong team behind it, and a very exciting license to use, which could bring something new and exciting to the Marvel pantheon of video games. Hopefully, the game will be as successful as XCOM Chimera Squad, which was one of the highest-rated strategy games in 2020. Marvel comic book fans will recognize that Marvel's Midnight Suns isn't a completely original idea. It's built off of an existing Marvel storyline named The Midnight Suns, though reworked a tad to be more inclusive. The Midnight Suns were 9 characters brought together to battle the villain Lilith and her demonic children. Expect to hear a lot more about Lilith, the Midnight Suns, and Marvel's new strategy game in the months to come.
Mother.
Up next, Activision released a new campaign trailer and demo for Call of Duty Vanguard at Gamescom that shows the German invasion of Stalingrad. Call of Duty Vanguard coverage so far has mainly focused on the game's multiplayer, which makes sense as the Vanguard Alpha will be playable this weekend. But multiplayer is just one piece of the Call of Duty Vanguard puzzle. Vanguard will also have the co-op zombies mode and the single-player campaign, which fans got a new look at during the Gamescom opening night live event, which included a special appearance by Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey helped introduce a look at the Call of Duty Vanguard campaign, with a playthrough of a level called Stalingrad Summer. In this particular Call of Duty Vanguard mission, Bailey's character Paulina Petrova, who is based on real-world female snipers that were active during World War II, experiences the German invasion of Stalingrad. The gameplay footage does a great job of showing off Call of Duty Vanguard's graphics, with the footage seemingly pulled from the PS5 version of the game. It's apparent from the gameplay trailer that Call of Duty Vanguard is using the Modern Warfare engine, though the graphics do seem to be upgraded from that game. Based on the campaign footage, it definitely looks like the game will have a lot in common with Modern Warfare gameplay-wise. The Call of Duty Vanguard campaign gameplay on display in the trailer showed a good mix of stealth, shooting, and even climbing, the latter of which isn't exactly the most common feature to appear in a Call of Duty game. While it doesn't appear to be rewriting the Call of Duty formula, it does appear as though Call of Duty Vanguard will still be providing the highly polished experience that fans have come to expect from the franchise. Those more interested in Call of Duty's other game modes should be able to learn more about them sooner rather than later. PlayStation fans will be able to go hands-on with the Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha from August 27th to August 29th, while Zombies news is sure to come prior to the game's November launch as well. As it stands, not much is known about the Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies game mode beyond the fact that it's being developed by Treyarch, so it will definitely be interesting to see it in action, whenever that happens. After that, another first-person shooter's release date was finally revealed. After yesterday's Xbox showcase, fans couldn't be faulted for thinking that Gamescom would come and go without any Halo Infinite news, a seemingly shocking move considering it's Microsoft's biggest game of 2021. However, it turns out that Microsoft was simply saving information for the main stage at Gamescom opening night live, where Halo Infinite's release date was officially revealed alongside a new multiplayer cinematic. During the opening night live showcase, Jeff Keighley took the stage with Halo Infinite head of creative Joseph Staten, revealing some big new details for the upcoming sci-fi shooter. First, the team revealed the intro cinematic for Halo Infinite's first multiplayer season, which featured a team of Spartans rescuing a woman from the ruins of a city destroyed by the Covenant. The biggest reveal, however, was Halo Infinite's release date. Xbox has danced around Halo Infinite's release date for a while now, surprising many when it wasn't revealed during E3. However, Staten confirmed that Halo Infinite will be released on December 8, 2021. Contrary to some rumors, both the multiplayer and campaign components of the game will be launching at the same time, though it has been previously confirmed that there will be no campaign co-op or Forge included when the game debuts, which is disappointing, and there is no campaign footage shown after the disastrous Craig moment last year. The December 8 release date is a bit farther back than what was anticipated, but only by a matter of weeks. Early speculation suggested that the game would release sometime in November, which would align closely with the first anniversary of the Xbox Series X's release date. For the most part, though, those rumors were grounded solely in the vague holiday 2021 release window and the apparent synchronicity of the console's launch anniversary. Currently, December has a fairly open release calendar, though there is some competition that 343 Industries will want to be aware of. The biggest game launching alongside Halo Infinite, at least as far as what is currently announced, is the zombie-killing parkour game Dying Light 2, which is slated to release on December 7th, just one day before Halo. But it is a bit less, when compared to October and November, where Battlefield 2042 and Call of Duty Vanguard releases. This big reveal was accompanied by more information on the Season 1 multiplayer story, along with the announcement of the Halo Elite Series 2, as well as a Halo-themed Xbox Series X console. Another one of the few Halo Infinite announcements at Gamescom's opening night live included the reveal of a limited edition Xbox Series X console. In the dramatic announcement trailer, iconic quotes from the Master Chief ring out over captivating shots of recognizable Halo imagery, like Master Chief's armor. While there have been many limited edition Xbox Series X controllers, including the recently announced Forza Horizon limited edition controller, this marks the first limited edition variant of the Xbox Series X console. The console is up for pre-order now and drops November 15th. The upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has released a new trailer that confirms another member of the franchise's cast will be joining the game. Early trailers from the Shredder's Revenge reveal hinted at some extra characters possibly being playable, but a new trailer confirms it for the series' popular leading lady, April O'Neil. With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge having a very retro art style, harkening back to the 1987 cartoon series and accompanying arcade titles, this means players will be able to jump into the game as the most recognizable April O'Neil. Additionally, the fan-favorite Redhead will have her own weapon that leans in on the character's history as a reporter and investigative journalist. This new trailer starts off by showing the four turtles in a menu reminiscent of older TMNT arcade titles, before April appears using a microphone as her weapon. Her full moveset includes plenty of punches and kicks without the weapon, but several of her special attacks also add a news camera on top of a tripod as her heavy hitter. The whole loadout makes April a force to be reckoned with, as she has little trouble taking out dozens of Foot Clan ninjas with as much ease as any of the other turtles. In addition to her own attacks, April will also be able to combo with the main cast of turtles, moving from jump and spin attacks right into being thrown like a wrecking ball into a group of enemies. Overall, April is a welcome addition to the style of classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade beat 'em that developer Dotemu is striving for with Shredder's Revenge. Although, it isn't clear if April will be the only new character to be added for players to take control of through the upcoming game. Having April take her place in the fight alongside the Turtles is a huge step for the classic 80s style that Shredder's Revenge emulates, especially considering the way that more recent adaptations have made her a more active part of the team. However, Dotemu may still have more in store for fans, as the initial reveal trailer for the game back in March implied that Master Splinter may also have a part in the fighting. While Splinter may be relegated to being an acquirable power-up or temporary ally, it is exciting to see April get the upgrade from stage presenter all the way to playable combatant. After that, Splitgate reveals Season 0, a new map, game mode, and tons of free content now available. It's been a busy couple of months for 1047 Games, and its upcoming free-to-play multiplayer shooter, Splitgate. While the game is currently enjoying an open beta, it has seemingly exploded in popularity, gaining attention from gamers and esports teams, Twitch streamers, and everyone in between. That popularity spike has led to a few difficulties as server queue times for Splitgate spiraled out of control, forcing players to wait for up to 1 hour. While the server issues have since been resolved, the studio continues to tease new content. Recently, 1047 Games has been teasing a big announcement at Gamescom 2021. Many speculated that it could potentially be an actual release date for Splitgate, though the original tweet from the official Splitgate account seems to have poured cold water on that. Initially confirming 10 million downloads, the tweet mentioned that there's more work to be done before the game is ready for launch. After teasing an extended beta session, Gamescom Opening Night Live finally revealed all of the details. As expected, a new trailer for Splitgate debuted at Gamescom 2021, only not with a release date. While the game remains in beta, the development team at 1047 Games announced the start of Season 0 and a new Battle Pass. The trailer showed off more stylish gameplay involving headshots, collateral kills, and portal takedowns, all on a brand new map known as Carmen Station, which is a reimagined version of the original map known as Outpost. However, that wasn't the only Season 0 announcement. In addition to the new map, Splitgate also confirmed a brand new game mode available to play now. The game mode known as Contamination, a play on infection made popular by the Halo franchise, is live and available to play alongside the other game modes completely free. In fact, the Gamescom trailer also showcased a number of these modes, including the Disco Ball-inspired Oddball, King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, as well as the Deathmatch modes as well. One element that didn't make the cut this time around was the much-requested ping system seen in other games like Apex Legends. 1047 Games has heard the feedback from fans, and has even admitted to being open to the idea. For now, there's no confirmation of a ping system being added, so fans will have to continue waiting for more news. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is possibly the most exciting game in the entire LEGO series, and developer Traveler's Tales has just released a new trailer at Gamescom 2021 opening night live. Unfortunately, this trailer also confirms that the game has been hit by a delay. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga marks a massive shakeup of the LEGO video games formula. The switch to an over-the-shoulder camera angle, in addition to revamped combat systems, is a much-needed change, as the LEGO games had become a little bit too similar in their gameplay. Considering the fact that it also includes all 9 Star Wars episodes, the sheer amount of content present in the Skywalker Saga is nothing short of remarkable. The latest trailer LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is impressive, and does a good job of showing the leap from previous games. The cutscene direction, presentation, and lightsaber duels are the highlight of the video, though the world design also looks expanded in a massive way, as planets feel bigger and more open than ever before. Most impressive is how it still manages to retain the charm that was present in the best games in the LEGO series. The change to an over-the-shoulder camera seems to be at the heart of all the new design decisions. Overall, it's a splendid trailer that highlights all of the new gameplay changes and improvements, while also showing memorable scenes from the Star Wars films superbly recreated in LEGO form. The trailer ends by confirming that LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has been delayed to 2022. The Star Wars galaxy is made up of dozens of diverse and exciting worlds that each have their own unique stories. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is giving players an unprecedented amount of freedom by letting them explore almost every major planet from the films, and this new trailer finally gave players a taste of how that exploration will work. Although it was a brief moment in the trailer, fans got to see just how the galaxy map in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga will look. The various planets in the Skywalker Saga could all be seen, as well as the process of jumping through hyperspace to travel and land on any given world. It appears that players will be able to travel to any unlocked world at any given time, which will give players immense flexibility compared to LEGO games and Star Wars games of the past. With all of the vast hub worlds in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, it's probably going to take some time to get from point A to point B when going through the events of each film. Luckily, TT Games seems to have come up with the perfect solution with various different vehicles and traversal options. From jetpacks to tauntauns, the Skywalker Saga is going to have a suite of different ways for players to get around. While this isn't entirely new for the LEGO franchise as a whole, the Skywalker Saga has ramped up the scale considerably. Arguably the best example of this was when the Gamescom trailer showed C-3PO stomping through Kashyyyk on an AT-RT walker roughly 3 times his size. If this is any indication, the full Skywalker Saga experience will likely have even more fun ways to traverse the galaxy far, far away. The LEGO franchise has always implemented various traversal options in its games, but they've never quite been at the forefront of gameplay like they are in the Skywalker Saga. After this trailer, it's clear that not only will this be a revolutionary game for the LEGO Star Wars brand, but the future of LEGO gaming as a whole could look very different once the Skywalker Saga is released. These new traversal options considerably expand the possibilities of what players can do in the world, opening up the LEGO franchise from a few small hubs to a whole galaxy of opportunities. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has been one of the most highly anticipated Star Wars games since it was announced, and although fans will have to wait until next spring to get their hands on it, the Gamescom trailer has shown that the wait should be worth it. Not only will this game have the biggest roster in a LEGO Star Wars game, but the new traversal options have the potential to bring the entire franchise to the next level. The wait may have been longer than many fans wanted, but at this point, it's good to see how far LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has come. The Skywalker Saga has looked impressive ever since its first showing and continues to build excitement with every trailer. The delay to next year is hard to swallow, but when looking at all of the footage that has been released, it does mark a massive jump in quality. It's a funny coincidence that the Skywalker Saga was confirmed to be delayed from 2020 to 2021 at Gamescom 2020, and has now been delayed again to 2022 at Gamescom 2021. Regardless, it is well positioned to blow all other LEGO games away whenever it releases. Back in March, another game published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, Gotham Knights, was confirmed to be delayed to 2022. The publisher is poised to have a dominant 2022, with Hogwarts Legacy and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League also set to release next year.
The boy has no patience. He is not ready.
I am ready. Ben, I can be a Jedi. Ben, tell him I'm ready.
Moving forward, the Outlast Trials shows off a brief segment of horrific-looking gameplay during Gamescom's opening night live. In many ways, the 2013 Outlast helped redefine what small studio horror games were capable of. While Amnesia rocketed indie horror onto the scene with the help of YouTube personalities, it's difficult to deny the Outlast franchise's impact on the genre. Now, the next entry in the franchise, The Outlast Trials, has received a new trailer, though this game has a multiplayer twist. The trailer gives close-up looks at some of the titular trials that players will be facing as they work their way through the game. In a way, the trailer closely resembles a Saw film, with bloody rooms and vicious-looking obstacles dominating many of the game's environments. It certainly doesn't seem like a place for the faint of heart, though the Outlast games never have been one of the contributing factors to their success. Undeniably, the stars of the show are the enemies that are featured over the course of the gameplay trailer. Traditionally, the Outlast games have packed in one or two primary big baddies for players to avoid, but the Outlast Trials trailer shows a suite of enemies chasing down players. Impressively, each one of the enemies is uniquely terrifying, offering up some distinct visual elements that distinguish them from the others. The narration also adds a creepy layer to the trailer's overall vibe, as the speaker claims to be helping the protagonists, ensuring their safety and insisting he's their friend. That clearly doesn't seem to be the case, as players are subjected to physical and mental torment throughout the gameplay. Luckily, the game will support teams of up to 4 players, so at least there's the option for allies to tackle each trial with. The gist of what's known so far is that the game is set during the height of the Cold War. Players are abductee test subjects taken by the Murkoff Corporation and held prisoner in a secret facility. There, they'll be forced to take part in physical and mental ordeals, many of which seem to end with players being hung, stabbed, or otherwise brutalized if the corpses shown throughout the trailer are any indication. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of question marks about the Outlast Trials. This is by far the best look that fans have had at the game since it was revealed, but the only release date right now is a vague 2022 window. There are some other horror games coming out soon to fill the void, like House of Ashes, but the Outlast Trials seems particularly exciting. Gamers are entering the final stretch of the year, and with that comes a bevy of AAA titles. Those looking forward to Far Cry 6, undeniably one of the biggest games releasing this year, were treated to a new story trailer during Gamescom, shedding some additional light on the game's antagonist, Anton Castillo, and protagonist, Danny Rojas. Of course, the trailer also gave some more insight into Far Cry 6's story. The trailer opens with Anton Castillo being interviewed by a news crew, detailing some of the events going on in Yara during Far Cry 6's story. Apparently, Castillo has been using slave labor to create Viviro, a cancer treatment derived from tobacco plants. Castillo seems determined to rebuild the paradise of Yara, no matter what the human cost of doing so is. The trailer also reveals that Anton Castillo was a slave himself, being forced to endure hard labor for 15 years. Castillo was imprisoned at age 13, which happens to be the same age as his son, Diego Castillo, who will apparently play a critical role in Far Cry 6's narrative. Anton spends much of the trailer trying to turn his son into yet another dictator, which will likely be a recurring element of the story. On the opposite side is Danny Rojas, Far Cry 6's protagonist. Danny has been pitched as an unwilling participant in the revolution on Yara, apparently enlisting with guerrilla forces after witnessing Anton Castillo slaughter refugees on a ship. It seems that confrontation will set up Danny's motivation for taking down Castillo, setting the rest of the revolution in motion. The trailer then dives into some of the set pieces Far Cry 6 will take players through as they work to free the island from Castillo's influence, showing off checkpoint raids, a helicopter battle, and more. The Far Cry series has always been bombastic, but it seems like Ubisoft is leaning more heavily into the chaos and destruction this time around. Of course, it makes sense for the developer to do so, as Far Cry 6 will be the first in the series to come to PS5 and Xbox Series X. Even beyond that though, the guerrilla warfare setting seems more open to large-scale confrontations than previous entries have afforded, which could be an interesting shift. Plus, Yara will feature urban environments, a first for the series. Those urban environments will undoubtedly offer avenues for new forms of chaos, which should go nicely with the narrative elements. And finally, we have a major update on one of the most anticipated PS5 games. There have been plenty of eyes on the upcoming martial arts action game Sifu, since it was revealed earlier this year. Following its delay announcement at Sony's July State of Play, today the game received a new official release date. Announced during Gamescom's opening night live showcase today, Sifu will officially be releasing on February 22, 2022. The release date announcement came alongside a new trailer that highlighted more of the clean-looking combat that so many fans have been wowed by. Opening Night Live host Jeff Keighley also revealed that he got the chance to play the PlayStation console exclusive, and that the game plays just as good as it looks. Additionally, he compared Sifu to another 3D action brawler series, the Batman Arkham games, but also noted that it still requires precision, like in 2D fighting games such as Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. While Sifu's delay into 2022 was definitely a disappointment for fans who are anticipating the game, it's nice to know that the wait won't be too long into the new year. What's more, the time between the delay announcement in July and the new release date announcement was relatively short, so the fighter still seems to be high on plenty of gaming enthusiasts' anticipated games lists for 2022. Sifu will be releasing in February alongside Horizon Forbidden West, which also revealed its release date during opening night live. With Horizon, the God of War sequel, and Gran Turismo 7, it seems like PlayStation owners will have quite the action-packed year, and Sifu is only going to sweeten the pot. When the studio behind Sifu, Slocklap, announced that the game would be showcased during opening night live on Twitter, it also remarked that it has more to show before the summer ends. It's not currently clear if the game's appearance at Gamescom was all that the studio was referring to in the tweet, but as there are only a few weeks left in the season, there's potentially more information about the title on the way. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.
There's the bridge.